All right, the Big Ten regular season is done. Now let's do a quick recap of Illinois football. So, going into the year, you were hoping that Tommy DeVito was going to be a true upgrade to what we have had at quarterback. And you were hoping that even though we were losing quite a bit of people on defense, that the coaching would be so good that we would have players step up that we haven't even heard of or wouldn't expect. And, both of those things happened. So come out against Wyoming, easy win. And then you play Indiana. Illinois gave that game away. I promise you, Illinois, the players, they're not going to forget that Indiana game, that Michigan State, that Purdue, and that Michigan game. More than anything, they're going to remember those games because they had the Big Ten West in their hands and they just dropped it. That was a horrible loss. That loss was so horrible that I thought that they wouldn't beat another team again except for Chattanooga. That's how bad that loss was. Illinois gave that game away in every way you could give a game away. I mean, that was horrible. What a horrible game. I remember that night. I thought they wouldn't win another game except for Chattanooga. But they bounced back against a bad Virginia team. Then they win against Chattanooga. And then Wisconsin, they weren't very good this year. And the quarterback got hurt. And so Illinois took advantage, got the win in Wisconsin. Then in a offensive shootout against Iowa, they won 6-9. Then they play Minnesota, get the win at home. Play Nebraska, they get that win. And they got their coach fired. Scott Frost got fired after that game. You get blown out by Illinois, you get fired. All right? Then we get real. We get real right here. So, Illinois ranked in the college football playoff, ranked in the AP polls, talked about nationally on every network, a feel-good story. Illinois Fighting Illini, rising from the sewers. Everything's in their hands. And what do? Lose at home to Michigan State. That was the worst loss of the year up to this point. You had the momentum. You had everything. Illinois has never been in this position since this East and West has been in play. And to choke it away like they did, what a horrible loss. But then the next game, you say, we can redeem ourselves. We can redeem the shameful loss of last week, and we can beat Purdue, and we can still continue to take hold of the Big Ten West. And what do? They get beat by Purdue at home. Back-to-back weeks. You had to win. You were at home, and you lost. Now, you go to Michigan. It's pretty obvious Michigan overlooked you, and you played as best as you could on defense. Offensively, you played like a coward. The referees cheated. You get the loss. Thank you, referees. But then, after a 3-game losing streak, you go to Northwestern, and the defense embarrasses Northwestern's quarterback. They forced him into 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions for a quarterback. That's insane. He gets pulled. The other kid comes in. He throws a pick. So offensively, – Illinois did nothing offensively. Tommy DeVito, 136 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. Reggie Love III, 85 yards, one touchdown. Brown, 61 yards, one touchdown, 3 yards a carry. I would think he's tired. Not only was he a little bit hurt, but he's got to be tired. He's carried the rock a lot. And as far as receiving is concerned, just nothing worth talking about. So, yeah. But on defense, you had Strain with a pick. Sidney Brown had 2 picks, 1 to the house, picked up a fumble to the house. Witherspoon, of course, he had 2 picks. And, yeah, so you go to the stats. You look at the total yards, the passing yards, the rushing yards. If you just went by the stats, you would say Northwestern is winning a tight game. But turnovers are a killer. So look, Northwestern had 22 first downs. They were 6 out of 16 from third down efficiency. 4 punts, 5 penalties. They both have 5 penalties. But here's the backbreaker. 1 fumble lost, 5 interceptions thrown. So 6 turnovers to Illinois' 1. You have to be one heck of a team to have 6 turnovers and win a game when the other team only has 1 or 0. So that's why Northwestern lost. Northwestern lost this game because of turnovers. That's all there is to it. So Illinois, they get the win. So now they're 8-4. All right? So on one hand, you can say, first time they've won 8 games in forever. So congratulations. Then you can say they're going to go to a bowl game for the first time since forever. Congratulations. But I just can't help but to think what could have been. What could have been. They end the year 3-2. So in the conference, they went over 500. They were 5-4 in a terrible Big Ten West. So, but congratulations to Purdue. Congratulations to Michigan. Michigan went into Ohio State. And Michigan, they outcoached them. And they outplayed them, period. If I was Ohio State's athletic director, I would be making some, I would fire everyone. I'm firing the entire coaching staff if I'm Ohio State's athletic director. The way they got outcoached and the way they got outplayed, they're not the right coaches. If I'm Ohio State, I'm contacting Ryan Walters from Illinois. Contacting Illinois, can I talk to him? You let Ryan Walters be the defensive coordinator for Ohio State with those players. If he can get what he can get from our players, could you imagine what he could get from them? So he's going to be the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. As far as offense, you got to get a coordinator more like Michigan. You need to play more like Michigan does. So, but their running back was hurt. And the bottom line is, as far as the injuries, Ohio State missing one of their best receivers. They've been missing him all year. And they missed their best running back. Unfortunately, Michigan has a lot better backups at running back than Ohio State. Ohio State, that's crazy. All them players on that team, you don't have a backup running back. They had linebackers playing running back. I mean, it's just crazy. There's no depth at running back for Ohio State. That's insane. But anyway, forget them. Illinois, 5 conference wins. So now it's time for a bowl game. So we'll see who they're matched up with and go ahead and see how that goes. But overall, a disappointing season, really. Disappointing because you had the Big Ten West in your hands and you go on a 3-game losing streak. Losing at Michigan, there's no shame in that. But losing at home to Michigan State and Purdue, that is a shame. And the reality is, if I were to tell any Illini football fan, Illinois can win the Big Ten West, go to a major bowl game, and play in the Big Ten title game, but all they have to do it is win at home against Michigan State and Purdue. Every Illini fan in the world would agree to that deal. They would take that deal without hesitation. All we have to do is win at home against Michigan State and Purdue. You're telling me, and we're Big Ten champs in the West, we're going to the title game, and we're going to go to a good bowl game, a major bowl game. That's all we got to do. Who wouldn't sign up for that? And that was the situation they were in. So, bowl game coming up. We'll see who they're matched up with. Probably a SEC team. I can't wait for that. I like it when we play SEC teams when we're the Big Ten because it really shows you where we're at. So I hope we get an SEC team. I want to see where we match up at. All right. So overall, on one hand, Illinois is above 500 in the Big Ten. They're going to a bowl game. That's good. On the other hand, they choked away the West. They choked away a college football playoff ranking. They choked away a AP ranking. They choked away a major bowl game. All because why? Because they couldn't win at home against Michigan State and Purdue. Let me know in the comments, what are your guys' thoughts on the season?